Because you know what that means? Then they got to come back. First of all, they got to dig themselves up and get the level right so that they can go forward. So that means that may be 7 or 8 years, maybe 10 years before they can regroup and get another house. So I just want to ask you to take a look at that. We will have, I hope we have all your email addresses and whatever. We're going to be sending you some information about that because we want you to do that. Sometimes we have good intentions, and sometimes those intentions, unfortunately, fall the wrong way. The other thing that I want you to take a look at is, and this, Sheila Jackson Lee talked about this, there was a time when I remember when I first went to Congress, went to the legislature in 1982, I had a tremendous concern about the criminal folk. Now I want you to hear me now. I agree, I am very much for what has happened. As a matter of fact, we worked as a caucus very hard on the GINA. Is it GINA or GINA? GINA 6. And we worked, I got the Howard University law students to get involved in that. And they've been very active and raised some money and that kind of thing. But let me just tell you something that's happening. This stop snitching thing is serious. See, in our culture, they say if you tell, or if you cooperate with the police, you snitch it. But can I give you the flip side of that? Somebody in Baltimore can walk in here. This was in Baltimore right now. And we had these 2 tables full of people. Somebody could literally walk and blow your brains out. And everybody in these tables know it. Know who did it. But nobody will testify. That's that. I'm telling you, that's serious. If you want your criminal justice system to fall apart, that's an easy way to do it. Because what happens is not only does that person get away to do it again, but it emboldens other people to do the same thing. We've got about 30-40% of the trials in Baltimore, I mean talking about murder cases, that we cannot take to trial because people are scared to testify. So what we've done is we've introduced legislation, which I understand is going to pass within the next week or so, which is going to help these state and local prosecutors be able to protect their witnesses. I understand that people are afraid. They are afraid for their lives. But so we got to protect them and help them get through this process. And so pray for us on that one, because the people who are being victimized are the people who sit in your pews. They're being victimized, big time. And so, but right now I want to have Congressman Cleaver come up. He's going to go over a few issues. I've got to run. We've got an issue for on poverty, and they want me to come and speak for a minute. I'm coming right back. It'll take me about 15 minutes. But Cleaver, Congressman Cleaver.
Thank you. I think we may be of greater value to you by responding to your questions. And so I want to touch on a couple of issues. I want to touch on one touchy issue. African Americans are sociologically or psychologically vulnerable on certain issues. And the bigots discovered it only 4 years ago. It's been there for a long time. But the Philistine bigots only discovered it about 4 years ago. They figured out that they could suck us in to fight against ourselves if they could strategically use the word homosexual. What they decided was the black folk are the most homophobic folk on the planet. And so what we can do is use homophobia, and they will join us to fight against themselves. And by the thousands, a new neutron bomb. And they'll attach to it that we can build a neutron bomb as long as we don't use any illegal gay workers who are transvestites. And so then they go to the black preachers and they say, you know, Congress they're trying to destroy our lifestyle. They are trying to destroy the family. Can nobody gay destroy my family? I can't, but nobody gay or straight can just exist and destroy my family. But we bought into it. So what happened? We had a hate crime bill. Now, if there's anybody on the planet, no, in the galaxy, who ought to be in support of any hate crime bill, is us. So, why in the world can you find in the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Times, a full-page ad? No, not half. A full-page ad that costs a lot of money. Now, a lot of black churches got money. I got friends I've been knowing 30, 40 years out here preaching, they got money. I know they got money. But now, they ain't got enough money to buy a full-page ad in the Washington Post. You can't find a black church running around putting full-page ads in the Washington Post. And they have black preachers, pictures in there. No white preachers, just black preachers. And they are attacking the hate crime bill. And so what does the hate crime bill say? They say, if you pass the hate crime bill, it says that you can't incite any kind of hate crime verbally. And so, they have been told by the evangelicals that means you can't preach against homosexuality or they'll put you in jail. So what did the black preachers do? Sign me up. Sign me up. And so they've been signing up. Now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that 43 members of the Congressional Black Caucus voted for it. And what's more significant, it doesn't matter that there's an amendment that says nothing in this bill shall be construed to suppress the church and its message. An amendment that almost clearly wipes away any chance that somebody could prosecute you. Now, Martin Luther King went to jail a lot of times. He never went to jail for what he preached. Nobody arrested Martin Luther King coming out of jail, out of a church, said, oh, you just preached bad. And so now, all of a sudden, black preachers are afraid that they're going to get handcuffed because they preach against homosexuality. And so they are opposing the hate crime bill. Now, I got some preachers mad at me up in Memphis because they announced publicly, I wish they had done it privately, but they announced publicly that their congressman is trying to get them arrested